Welcome to The Beauty Shift, proudly sponsored by Karenique.
For thicker, fuller hair at every age and every stage of a woman's life.
I'm Michelle Phillips. I'm a celebrity stylist and beauty expert, a national TV personality, and self-confidence coach. And over the years, I've worked with some of the most recognized faces in the world, helping them look and feel their absolute best inside and out. That ultimate inner, outer wow. Now that's true beauty, my friends. Welcome back to The Beauty Shift and part 2 of my conversation with Robert Holden. If you're joining us again after part 1, I really want to thank you for coming back and continuing this journey. And if you're just now tuning in, you may want to pause and listen to part 1 first, because this conversation is truly meant to be experienced in its entirety. It's an absolutely incredible conversation that just kept getting better, so we didn't want to stop recording. Robert Holden is an extremely amazing person that spreads love and kindness and happiness and joy. And he exudes it. And when you're with him and when you listen to him and when you work with him or you read his books or you attend his workshops, you can't help but feel that love and that joy and that expansion in your heart and soul. He opens up something inside of each person that he touches. And he has profoundly changed people throughout the world, including myself. This is a gift that I feel I've been given by having him join us on the show today, and it's a gift that I'm so happy to share with you. This conversation with Robert Holden continues now.
That's how we retrain ourselves into having an experience of life where we somehow realize that we are enough.
Yes.
You know, that we really are enough, and that we all of us carry what the wonderful mystic Thomas Merton called a secret beauty. We all of us have a secret beauty. It's a secret beauty because for many of us, it's a beauty that we don't even know we have. Why? Because we're so busy judging ourselves.
Yes.
You know? We're so busy judging ourselves that we never get to see each other. And in fact, Michelle, I would start, if we were looking at the Enneagram, like at point 1 on the Enneagram, the first teaching at point 1 is that you will never see who you are for as long as you're judging yourself. Because judging isn't seeing. This is the big mistake we all make. We think judging is seeing. It's not. When you judge someone, all you see is your judgments about that person. Similarly, if you judge yourself, all you're seeing is your judgments about you. We actually only get to see who we really are when we're not judging ourselves.
And in the Enneagram, I would love for you to share, for example, I'm a 2, which
Right.
I was like, oh, yep, that's me. I'm the giver and the people pleaser and all that stuff, which I'm really, like I said, I've worked on for the past 2 years. So as much as that came up, I thought, but I have healed that people pleasing need. And I am being really, giving, but I have boundaries. So how can we look at our Enneagram? Because I could see myself in others as well when I was reading the individualist and even the perfectionist. There's some things,
Yeah. We've all got a perfectionist inside us.
So in terms of, and we were talking about self-improvement, of course, I looked at it like, oh, how can I improve on the things that I see that may be detrimental to my happiness, such as being a people pleaser. Let's just say I was still doing that. How do you guide people to use your Enneagram now there's a quiz they take first online, which is very easy and fast to take.
This is super fast. I've created it with Hay House. It's a great way to begin if you don't already know your type. And it takes between 3 to 5 minutes to do. We've beta tested to 10,000 people. It's been out just for a little bit. It's already been taken by 160,000 people, I think. So it's really popular. It's getting great feedback. So that's a great place to start. So let's give everyone a link to that and make sure you can take that quiz because it's free.
I'll put it in the show notes as well.
Amazing. Yeah, that's great. Now, if we look at the Enneagram symbol for a moment, This word Enneagram, remember, this is a Greek system, 2,000 years old. Also, I will say this, it is the fastest growing personality model in North America right now. So when
Wow.
people Google any type of personality test, this has become the fastest growing test out there. So something interesting has happened where it's been like under the radar for 2,000 years, and now suddenly it's popped up. It's everywhere. And you will, if you haven't already heard about the Enneagram, you're going to hear about it a lot more because it's brilliant.
Yes.
And it's super, super helpful. Now, Enneagram is a Greek word and it means model of 9. So when you look at that circle, you're going to see there are 9 points on that Enneagram. Now, those 9 points are like 9 meditation seats, where when you sit on those seats, you get like a download of teachings, which are going to help you with the theme you're looking at. For instance, the theme of beauty, the theme of purpose, the theme of happiness, the theme of love. And this is what I've done through the years. I've done like workshops where we'll take love for 3 days and we'll look at with the Enneagram, we'll do 9 classes on love where we do it from each of the 9 points. Now, these 9 points are also home base for 9 personality types. But if I just back up for a minute, you've got all 9 points in you. It's just that you've got a home base, which is sort of where you tend to start from every day. So,
Right.
for example, type 1, the perfectionist, they just start there. Now, Sylvia Lagnado, the president of Dove, she was a type 1 on the Enneagram. And she realized that, she was very honest about this. She said, look, I judge myself all day long. I watch everybody else judge themselves all day long. This cannot be right. There's got to be a better way of going about this. So let's do something. This is the great play of a type 1, is they want to make the world a better place. They want us to have a better experience of the world. And so this was her contribution. Someone else who was a 1 was Anita Roddick of the Body Shop.
Oh.
And I worked with her for a time back in the 90s. And her work as well with the Body Shop was very much about, finding a more ethical way to look after ourselves and care for ourselves. So that would be type 1 as an example. If we go to type 2, your home base, I would say that at type 2, one of the great strengths of type 2 is actually we see beauty in everybody else. We help, we give, we serve everybody else. And our work at 2 is also to practice our own self-care.
Yes.
Yeah. It's to practice our self-care. It's to remember that our soul loves us very, very much, and that our soul is always dropping love notes into our heart every day. You can wake up every morning and your soul will have dropped a little love note into your heart with a little message of how to look after yourself today. If you listen to that, you're going to have a better day. If you refuse to listen to that, you're going to come to a point as a 2 where you're often in sacrifice, you're exhausted, you've been doing everything for everybody else, and you forgot to include yourself.
Yes. And that can lead to illness and all those things. I wake up every day and say, what does Michelle need today?
There we go.
That was a Louise.
Oh
and
my God.
Louise, yes, shared that with me. And then my coach, Nancy, because every good life coach has a coach, and she works with Ilana Van Zant. But same. I mean,
amazing.
It's taking care of also my inner child, my little
You
girl.
are modeling, Michelle, you are absolutely modeling the healthy 2 here, which is the—
It's been hard work.
Yeah, it's a journey. It's a journey.
And it's a decision that we have to make every day.
It is.
Just like eating healthy or exercising, right?
Exactly right. The Enneagram was observed by people for 2,000 years. They were observing us, they were watching us, they were seeing these arcs of growth that are available ultimately to all of us. It's very well observed and it's so practical. But at point 2, the invitation is for all of us to practice better self-care, but especially for type 2s. Okay, especially for type 2s. It's the game changer. It's the game
Right.
changer. The more I care for myself, the more I can care for other people. Me too is important, when it comes to self-care, to self-love, and also at two, I would say, a large part of the work is letting yourself be loved. Really really, really letting yourself be loved. If we go to point three, should we go to point three? Should we
Yes,
keep
definitely.
going
Let's
for a
keep
little bit?
going. I love it.
Okay. So point three, now this is my home base. Point three is called the achiever. And the achiever is, we start life by thinking, well, I can win love by being impressive. I can win love by being successful. I can win love by doing good things for everybody else. And that's great for a while, but it then also occurs to us after a while, wow, this is really hard work. And why do I always feel the need to have to make a good impression? Why do I always have to be my best self? Why does it always feel like I'm in an audition instead of relaxing and being my true self? So the work at three that I've had to go through in my life is to learn to relax. It's actually paradoxical. It's to stop trying to make a good impression and actually just be myself. Yeah. So as a little example, I mean, yesterday I gave a TED talk. And when I was going to the TED talk, I have a voice inside my head going, make a good impression, Robert, make a good impression. And what I have to do is just sort of talk myself down and say, hey, yeah, hey, wait a minute here. What if actually being authentic is better than trying to make a good impression? Yeah.
Yes.
So that becomes the work at three. The work at four, maybe just do one more for now. The work at four, the individualist, we've covered slightly, but here it's this idea that actually, here's the big thing. This is really big. But fours are deep. Fours are deep and meaningful. They're amazing. Debbie Ford was a four. If you ever met Debbie Ford, she was an amazing teacher.
Shadow work.
Yeah, extraordinary. At four, it's the miracle of loving the unlovable. You find something in yourself that you have refused to love up until now, and you make it a point of loving the unlovable. And love is big enough that love can do this. You don't do this, by the way. You make yourself available to that love to be able to love the unlovable. And if you do that, something amazing happens in your life. It's like you get ordained in love somehow. You have to do it to experience it. This is a poem that my wife Holly wrote, and Holly is a 4 on the Enneagram. And it's called Could You Love Me Like This? And I just read it to you. And I will tell you, and this is the gift of 4s. When she posted this went viral and got like 1 million hits within like 2 days. Okay, so anyway, here you go. This is the poem. Today, I asked my body what she needed, which is a big deal considering my journey of not really asking that much. I thought she might need more water or proteins or greens or yoga or supplements or movement. But as I stood in the shower, reflecting on her stretch marks, her roundness where I would like flatness, her softness where I would prefer firmness, all those conditioned wishes that form a bundle of never quite rightness. My body, she whispered very gently, could you just love me like this?
Okay, tissues. Oh my God. I think we can all relate to that. My goodness, that is so beautiful, Holly. What a gorgeous, beautiful poem. And in relation to what you're teaching in your book, a couple things come to mind that I'm now going to go back and I'm going to read all of the Enneagram types because I feel like there's a part of me in each one.
Yes, that's what I wish for everybody to see is that you've got a home base, but all of the, we're all in this journey together.
Yeah.
We're all more similar than we're different.
Right.
And honestly, we can learn from each other all the time. I can learn, you know, like from, like, you're a brilliant example, Michelle, of a two who's taken her journey. And I can learn from that for me. And hopefully I'm a decent example of a three who's less image based now and more centered in my soul. Yeah. Wayne Dyer, a brilliant example of a three. Okay, somebody who you know set out in life a certain way and essentially became like the embodiment of his message.
Yeah.
More handsome, wiser,
Yeah.
funnier, more
As he got
remarkable as the
bald
years
and
went
yeah.
on. Yeah, honestly,
Love
didn't
him.
he? He was like, he just was this, like, you know, he would sign his emails, I am light. And it was true. He became the message. He became himself. That's what we all do 9
Yes.
times when we play it well and when we get help from each other. That's what I'm trying to do. Also, the other reason to read about the other types is because you have all 9 types in your life.
Right.
Yeah, you'll recognize your mum, you'll recognize your dad, you'll recognize your children, you'll recognize your partner. And in a way, all of the 9 types have their own love language. So as we get to know each other more, we just get to love each other more as well, which I think is a great thing. Because again, remember, the Enneagram's a really wholesome model. It's not trying to diagnose and prescribe. It's trying to show you who you are. And it's saying, look, trust that. Be more of that, because you were well made in the first place.
Right. It's not a way to look at what's wrong with you and what you need to, you know, shame yourself about, or, you know, because when you were talking about your TED talk and how you were, you know, your mindset as you approach, you know, getting closer. And I do that when I'm on live television, I start to get a little, next week I'm on live TV every single day for 5 days. And then I go, throw the script away, just be yourself. Because when I'm myself, people connect more. But, you know, with Wayne, even with what he does and being the Enneagram type that he is, you know, when I saw him the first time on stage at the I Can Do It conference before I was a Hay House author, I was like, I want to be the Wayne Dyer of beauty. And then I meet Wayne and Louise and yourself and start working with you all, and everything that you all have taught, either by working directly with or reading your books or attending your talks. I think that we can see ourselves in everyone's story. And that's so what true. Louise used to say. We're all very similar, but people will gravitate to her maybe more than Wayne because of the story. But when you're sharing like Holly's beautiful poem, see, I saw myself in that. So that's why I'm like thinking, oh, I've got to dive into all the different Enneagram types.
So true. Louise was a 6 on the Enneagram. Louise Hay was a 6 on the Enneagram.
Oh, and what's that?
So 6s are actually called the loyalist. And but what the Enneagram does is it recognizes your soul gift. And at 6, the soul gift is your 6th sense. It's learning to trust your own intuition rather than being pulled around by everybody else's advice. And if you remember, Louise always used to say that the key to her happiness and her success was that she listened to what she called her inner ding. Yeah, like, I listen to my inner ding, I follow what my inner ding tells me to do, and I'm guided by my inner ding. That was her name for her 6th sense, for her intuition, and the sense that actually our soul is always trying to guide us. Now, if we've not been taught that, or, you know, it's like, we'll never know. And then we get pulled around by life, and that's when we run into trouble. Whereas if we can come back to the awareness that, again, all of us have within us a guidance mechanism, and that's why we're brilliantly designed. And then we learn from our 6s just how, like from Louise, that life actually does love us. Life wants us to do well. And the more we follow our inner ding, the better it will be. That's an example of how we learn then from the type 6s how to live our own life. We don't have to be a 6 to learn that. We're all just humans, and we can learn it too.
I follow mine all the time. And my husband sometimes is like, what? Like, you just said you wanted to go to that restaurant. As we're approaching the door, I'm like, something's weird. I don't like it. I'm feeling weird. Let's go.
There we go.
And then the next day we found out a fight broke out or something strange happened in the
That's
restaurant.
right.
And so he's like,
There you
okay,
go.
my little witch.
Yeah.
But I feel a sense of something about a person or about a
There you are.
situation. And I just think, no, I'm going to listen to that. I don't know why. And I feel that's one of the things that I like to teach women as well, is to listen to that inner ding, because it's super important.
It's about being present. And I'm thinking at point 9, if you go right up to point 9, because we haven't said anything about point 9. 9's their real gift is, I think, learning to be present in the world. And I'm thinking now of, for example, Maya Angelou. Now, I was lucky enough to interview Maya Angelou 3 times in her life, and for me, she was the embodiment of the 9 energy. And if you just look at pictures of Maya, and ask yourself, why is she that beautiful? Yeah. And I'll say to you that that's something to do with her physicality, but more than anything, she arrived. She came down into the planet and she showed up. And if you know anything about Maya's early life, you will know that she was actually mute for several years. She didn't speak. She didn't say a word. She didn't want to be in the world. Something happened. We all need a guardian angel. One of her guardian angels was her grandmother. And she reversed that decision. And she decided to be fully present and to show up as herself. And the more she showed up as herself, she became a poet. She was a producer. She was a writer. She was an activist. She was so many things, but she showed up. And I tell you, that's the greatest act of love on this planet, is showing up for the people we love, showing up for each other, and really being a presence of love in the world. So there's another example of how, I think the Enneagram works. And I write about these people, by the way, all of them in the book. So I'm trying to show you everyone examples of what a healthy example of the type looks like. And also, how we trip ourselves up and what we can do about that.
Right. And I'm just thinking, come to mind, like Oprah, when you were talking about Maya, another good friend of Maya's, but also someone who exudes that.
Yeah. Now, I don't know Oprah's Enneagram type, but I will say that she definitely presents as a type 3.
Okay. Because you were with her on her show. Right?
Yeah. Well, I did a live show with her where there were 8 segments, and I was going to do 3 of the segments. And this gives you a sense of, I think, of how authentic she is. There was a script. And I did the first 3 segments, and the floor manager came to take me away during a commercial break. And she said to the floor manager, no, he's staying. This is a great conversation. I want to keep going with it. Yeah. Now, I have to tell you as well, this, when you do an interview on TV and you're doing the interview live and then it cuts to a commercial break, often the interviewer will turn away from you and have a chat with somebody else about something. And then they come straight back on when it's, when you're counted back in, and then they put on their interview face and they go again. I tell you, with Oprah, it wasn't like that. With Oprah, we didn't stop talking in the commercial breaks. We would just be face to face, eye to eye, still talking the whole time there was a commercial on. And as I say, the floor manager would be coming and saying, it's time to take Dr. Holden away. And she'd be going, he's not going anywhere. I ended up doing 7 of the 8 segments on that live show. And that, I'm just saying, is an example of someone who's in their authenticity. They're following their heart. They're paying attention to what their guidance is telling them. Yes. And on this occasion, her guidance was saying, we've got more to talk about. Let's talk about it. And for those reasons and a few more, I would say whatever type Oprah is, she exudes a lot of what I'd call genuine, healthy 3 energy, which is all about living your best life. That's what a 3 wants to do. We want to live our best life, but we live our best life by being authentic and true to who we are. and she to this day remains one of the most authentic interviewers, you know, I've ever had the pleasure of being interviewed by.
Absolutely. I mean, I started in television on TV. I was behind the scenes for, it's been 30 years behind the scenes, but I've been on TV now for 20 years. And when I first started, they wanted me to be a beauty reporter. Then I ended up hosting a show on CBS, like a morning talk show. And I was like, who am I to do this? I'm just a makeup artist.
Yeah.
I was scared out of my mind, like every time I was on camera. And I would always think about what would Oprah do or say, or how would she be? So I would step into her.
Yes.
Before I would sit down and interview someone, because I would think, I want to be authentic like her, but it's scary, when you're on camera and you're talking and you're on live TV. And so one day my goal is to meet her. I would love to talk with her about beauty and everything that you and I are talking about today, because she is such an advocate for being so real and so truthful about what's really going on inside of our hearts and souls and our minds. And that's what I really want to have more conversations like you and I are having today, because it's about coming from that place of authenticity. And your whole entire every book I've ever read has always been about really getting back to love.
I just want to take a quick moment to thank our amazing sponsor, Keranique, the go-to brand for women's hair growth solutions. If you're looking for healthier, thicker, more beautiful hair, no matter what hair concerns you have, Keranique has got you covered. Their products are clinically proven and dermatologist recommended, offering a complete hair care system, including treatments, shampoos, conditioners, and supplements to help you achieve stronger, fuller looking hair from the inside out. So whether you're starting your hair regrowth journey or maintaining gorgeous, healthy locks, Keranique has a solution for you. And as a Beauty Shift listener, you get 25% off site-wide. All you have to do is head over to store.keranique.com and use the code BeautyShift25 at checkout. Thanks again, Keranique, for supporting the Beauty Shift and helping women everywhere feel confident and beautiful. So now let's get back to the show.
Yeah, which I think is essentially what we're made of.
Right.
And I think that is our essence. The reason we want to find love, the reason we feel so good when we are loving and being loved, is because we're made of this stuff. It is our essence, essentially. The word we use, love, is the same as the essence of what we really are. And, by the way, Oprah was also a huge fan of the Real Beauty campaign. I do want to just say that as well, to tie us back to the beginning of our conversation. She absolutely loved the Real Beauty campaign, when it was in full flow. It's still going now, but especially in those early days, she would do everything she could to promote that project. And it was really, really cool. But look, in the end, I think everything is about, if we're really honest with ourselves, it's all about love, really. This is everything. Everything is really, about love. Being happier is, the more loving we become, the happier we become. I think the more we lead with love, the more successful we become, the more abundant we feel. This all comes back to love in the end.
And the better relationships we have with others. It's about loving yourself. Because when you love yourself and you take better care of yourself, you start to look better, you start to feel better, and you start to attract people who mirror how you feel about yourself. So if you love yourself, more people will show up loving you the same way. When we don't love ourselves, which I used to be guilty of many years ago, and again, it's an ongoing practice, but then I would have people show up in my life that would confirm that I didn't like myself because they didn't treat me very well. It's
how it works.
Yeah.
It is. It really, really is. You will never find love by looking for it. You will only ever find love by being the love, and by being the love you're looking for. And what that means is you've got to embody that sense of self-love. There's nothing attracts love more genuinely than the willingness to love yourself. Again, this doesn't work in theory. This only works in practice. You've got to go that way, and so often You know, I'll speak to people who say I'm looking for love, but I don't seem to be able to attract it. Looking for love doesn't attract love. Being the most loving person you can be, that's what attracts love. And that starts with loving yourself. And again, a good practice, for example, would be every now and then is just to ask yourself, am I judging or am I loving? Literally in this moment, am I judging or am I loving? And if I notice I'm judging, remember, your judgments aren't true. Your judgments are just opinions you have. So you can say to your judgments, hey, let's have a little rest for a moment. None of us will ever stop judging, by the way. We're always going to have a judging channel going on, but we can just switch channels. We can, we don't suppress the judgment. We don't oppose it. We're not fighting. We're not even going to make it wrong that we judge. Yeah, we're just going to say, I don't want it to be my habit today. Today, I want to know what it's like to be me when I judge myself less. That's a great exercise, by the way. What's it like to be me when I judge myself less? Get a feeling for it. And you'll notice when you judge yourself less, automatically what arises in you is a sense of loving yourself more and being willing to show the world who you really are. That's our journey 9 times on the Enneagram. That's our journey as human beings, and supporting each other in this, just like, hopefully we're both trying to do now. And you've made a lifetime's work of this as well. It's like, that's the great joy. We're well made. And our work ultimately is to trust that the more we show up as our true self, the better that goes ultimately for everybody.
Everybody. 100,000%. I mean, seriously. And I want to share before we go that you are going to be in the United States because you're based out of London and you do a lot of work in Europe. Yeah. I got an email today from Hay House that you're going to be in Arizona this spring and you're going to be doing more classes, because I have to just share with our audience that showing up to your workshops and, where you are live in person working with us, it fills my heart and soul. And I was saying to my husband this morning, I definitely want to attend one of your classes this year. I was with Anita Merjani last May, and Greg Braden and Bruce Lipton and Michael Beckwith, who I'd never met before. He's so cool. But hanging out with them and then attending their conference, it just, sometimes I think we need that reset. We can read the books, and your book has already profoundly touched my heart and helped me really see things through a different lens. So wonderful. And then when you have the in-person experience,
nothing beats that. Nothing beats that. Not in the end. I mean, I think a live event's a wonderful thing. This will be my first live 3-day event in the US since 2019. So I am so excited. I've been very European based for a while. I've been writing my books, raising my family as well. And, I'm super pleased. We're also going to be doing this event, Becoming Yourself. It actually marks the book launch, but it also is going to be happening over the spring equinox. And I just think that's a really potent time for new beginnings. And the whole work is going to be, the theme is becoming yourself. How can I step into an even more authentic life? The best form of marketing on the planet, whatever work you're in, the best form of marketing on the planet is being true to yourself. Yes. When you come from your heart, everything works better in your work. And obviously everything works better in your relationships as well. But we'll go through, I'll teach 11 classes. 90-minute classes, and we'll go through the Enneagram together. So you don't need to know anything about the Enneagram. You just think of the Enneagram as a lens. You don't need to know what the lens is made of. I'll tell you all about that. But the main work is really about all of us becoming ourselves. And I just have to say as well, Michelle, I mean, if you hadn't followed your impulse to be who you are today, we wouldn't get the benefit of your work. We wouldn't get the benefit of what you do. And I'd love people just to get the feeling that when we become ourselves, that's our act of generosity for the world. Really. And let's look around. Right now, the world needs a bit of help. And who could help the world if it's not us? I mean, we're all here. There's 9 billion of us. We keep praying for help. God sent 9 billion people. So let's all, let's help each other out a bit. And how do we do that? We do that by becoming ourselves and trusting in that. So that will be what that retreat's about. And it'd be amazing to see people there if they feel called to be there. Yeah.
I love that. And, a lot of people are coming to me about the troubles that they're feeling right now, the uncertainty. And just what you said, I feel as if rather than looking outside of ourselves to feel better, if this situation would just change or this person would stop doing XYZ or whatever, the best way to get through some of the difficult things that we're seeing in our world is to really go inward. And what are we doing to contribute to loving ourselves and one another? I just feel like people think that their voice doesn't matter, and that they have, they don't have any power.
I think it's so true. I think it's we all of us have that voice that says I'm not enough and that I don't matter, and yet what I would say is, we can all be an instrument for something greater than ourselves. I'm a student of A Course in Miracles, and there is there's a wonderful line early on in the course which says that all acts of love are maximal. All acts of love are maximal. And what that really means is that, you have no idea what the ripple effect is of one act of love. When you speak a word of kindness to someone, when you show up as your authentic self, when you're being true to you, and when you're serving from your heart, you have no idea of the ripple effect. And you should never underestimate the power of the ripple effect, and this comes back to, again, being present in the world and showing up. And we genuinely can make somebody's day, even just with a smile. Right. It really can. And I think we're in a new model, new paradigm right now, Michelle, whereas I think in the past we used to hope that one or two people would sort the world out for us. And now I think we understand that we've all got to sort the world out for us. It's like we've all got to play that part. We can't wait. This comes back to, if you think something is missing in your life, it's probably you. If you think that real leaders are missing in the world right now, then it's your turn to step up and take a lead. Taking a lead doesn't mean you're going to take a position of a corporation. Taking a lead means I'm going to be the love that I don't see in the world right now. I'm going to be the kindness that I can't see. I'm going to be that friend that that people need in the world right now. So you're going to be the thing that you want to see happen in the world. That's our work.
Exactly. That is the key, in my opinion, as well, to healing our planet and making change. You are such an amazing light in this world. I'm going to cry. I've had so much fun, and it has just filled my heart to spend this time with you. And I just know that our audience right now is feeling the same way. Thank you so much for your time. And when does your book come out officially?
It comes out officially March 10th.
Can we pre-order now?
Yeah, you can pre-order now. And but also I would say, pre-order through Hay House, and then you'll get a free ticket to a free summit. So that's a good way to do it. Yeah, we'll make sure you get because it's good. We've got a number of guests who will be coming on the free summit, including my friend Liz Trubridge, who's the producer of Downton Abbey, who loves the Enneagram and works on the Enneagram. My daughter Bo will be one of my guests as well. We have Russ Hudson, who's an amazing Enneagram teacher, Deborah Egerton, who is the former president of the International Enneagram Association, Caroline Mace as well. Caroline, I've taught the Enneagram with Caroline on a few occasions. We've run 3 courses together. But anyway, so that'd be a good thing. So maybe we could do a link for that, so that people get that.
I'll put that link
summit
here so everyone can just go right to it, and then you can attend the free summit. If anyone is listening after the fact, you just go to your website, right?
Yeah.
RobertHolden.com.
Beautiful. Yes.
because you have so many resources there and you can sign up for your
Mm.
newsletter. So I know you teach classes year round online as well as
Yeah.
in person.
Yeah.
So because this podcast might be living out there well beyond when your book comes out, but at least people would
Great
know
point.
how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, great point, Michelle. Thank you. And
Oh,
look, and I want to, if I may just say thank you so much for inviting me to be on your program. I feel, when you first asked me, I was in the middle of writing the book and I had to be so disciplined to say no. I had to say yes to the book, and I think finishing the book, now I get to have the rewards, and one of them is to be with you. And I really feel, your love and your friendship, and I'm very grateful for that. And I truly, truly look forward to more times together in the future. Now that I am released from my writing desk, I wish you every success with your new book that you're writing as
thank
well.
you.
But look, I love what you're doing. I love who you are, and I'm very grateful that you're in my life. Thank you.
Oh, thank
Mm.
you. I
Mm.
love and adore you so much. And this has been a conversation I've been looking forward to for a long time. And I applaud you for waiting until the time was right for you, because you were doing what the number two person, me, has to really work on hard, and that's saying no when it's not a good time for me.
Yeah,
So bravo
yeah,
that you did that. But
yeah,
actually the timing is just, of course, as it I think everything is in divine timing, right?
yeah.
When we when we made this date many
Mhm.
months ago, it's like it was
Mhm.
perfect timing. It was
Yeah.
perfection. So even though I know this is what I think perfection is when things just happen
Yes.
divinely as they're supposed to.
That's that other type of perfection that really does exist when we're not trying to do everything perfectly. And that's the whole point.
That's
Yeah.
what I mean. I really feel that when we let go and get out
Mm.
of our own way, as you are teaching, you live authentically to yourself
Mm.
and
Mhm.
are true to yourself. It's almost as if everything I've always wanted and hoped for is just coming to me more easily and effortlessly,
Yeah. Yeah.
more and more. It's like
More than
you
ever.
think it's crazy, but it's not crazy, to where I think,
No.
where did that come from out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Just for example, my new book. I never thought I would write another book, and then something happened, and ding! All of a sudden, I'm writing a book and
You're
with
on it.
someone amazing. And it's just when we allow ourselves
Yeah.
to let go of trying to be perfect is when perfection happens, but a different type of perfection.
It's so true. It's so true. Yeah.
It's all good reminders. Things I also,
Mhm.
sometimes I have to say it out loud again to remind myself.
Forever, forever. This is the
Sometimes I
land.
forget these things. I
No, no,
have
no.
days.
This is the land of forgetfulness. And if we didn't have each other to remind each other, honestly, we would forget. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which is why I love this podcast so much and why I just adore you. And I'm just so grateful for your time today. And I'm
My
so
joy.
grateful for your friendship and your support always.
Thank
And
you. Thank you.
but most importantly, just the work that you're doing in this world is just huge and making such a profound difference in all of our lives. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And lots of love to everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Robert, thank you. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your presence. And thank you for the depth you so generously shared with us today. Conversations like this remind us that growth doesn't come from fixing ourselves. It comes from remembering who we already are. And for all of you that have tuned in today, I thank you from my heart and soul for showing up, for leaning in, for giving yourself the gift of reflection and self-awareness. It's pretty cool. And my hope is that you walk away from this episode feeling a little more connected to yourself, a little bit more compassionate, and a little bit more trusting of your own inner voice. So let this be a beginning, not an ending. Carry what resonated with you into your day, into your relationships, and into the way you speak to yourself. Until next time, take care of your beautiful heart and keep choosing you.
I want to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Keranique, for thicker, fuller hair at every age and every stage of a woman's life. I hope you enjoyed the show, and if you did, please feel free to share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And if you'd like to receive my free beauty and wellness gifts, just go to my website, michellephillips.com. I also invite you to join my social media community on Facebook and Instagram, Michelle Phillips Beauty.